You and Your Money is brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Member of Parliament from Mangrove Key and South Andros, Leon Lundy.
And J.S. Johnson Insurance.
Beyond Recovery into Growth was the theme at the Andros Business Outlook. Tonight's show highlights presenters from the recently held event. The keynote address was delivered by Member of Parliament from Mangrove Key and South Andros, Leon Lundy.
The theme for this year's conference is Beyond Recovery into Growth. For most, business recovery centers on achieving a return to normal business activities, either through cost-efficient actions or revenue turnaround. The impact of government diverted resources to hurricane recovery and the pandemic recovery has been felt throughout the country. Andros is no different. Many businesses now face muted demand, new customer expectations, and operational challenges stemming from new health and safety protocols. The government's role is now to provide policies that encourage and create incentives and concessions to small businesses in order to aid their recovery and growth. In our 2022-2023 budget presentation, this government has included several combinations of policies, concessions, and programs to encourage domestic economic growth. The budget is centered around three core ideas. One, helping Bahamians cope with the cost of living crisis. Two, creating jobs and ownership opportunities for Bahamians. And three, improving security by making communities and homes safer and our borders more secure. To assist in managing rising high costs of living due to global inflation, the government has put forward adjustments to import duties. We have lowered duties on a significant number of food items like eggs, chicken parts, flour, cheese, vegetables, and plant-based drinks. For agricultural businesses, we are making new investments in this sector to the tune of $27.5 million. Additionally, we have authorized a reduction in real property tax rates for commercial properties, which takes effect in the 2022-2023 tax year. Family Island rental property owners can also purchase building materials, furniture, and appliances duty-free. These specific action steps are necessary to revitalize industry, which is and has always been at the foundation of our nation's economy. As a Member of Parliament, I am continuously lending my voice to the government in its plans to reshape the economic landscape in Andros. As the largest island in our chain, I want to ensure that the future plans involve enhance coastal protection through preserved natural buffers, maintenance of climate and coastal resilience, expansion of economic and capital growth, improve connectivity and accessibility, and also increased incomes, employment rate, and GDP. Also increased tourism expenditure, increased lobster revenue, and improved education and capacity building. Increased number of staff and guides within the ecotourism sector and the expansion of social capital. Improve livelihoods and income equality, and also improved health and well-being. The decision to create the Family Island Infrastructure Fund is a major signal that our strategy to invest in islands such as Andros means that we believe in the power of growth and resilience. We know that the Red Bays Road is a highly critical link between the main settlements of North Andros, namely Low Sound and Nicholstown and Mastic Point, to the community of Red Bays. These 16 miles of road are expected to be reconstructed at a cost of approximately $13.5 million using hot mix asphalt. The scope of work has been completed, and we expect the project will be put to tender in early July, with the funding coming from the supplementary budget. Both the Stafford and Fresh Creek bridges are in poor condition. Currently, they can only accommodate single lane traffic with weight restrictions. Works studies have been taken and completed in April of this year to assess future demand, financial viability, and climate change impacts. The decisions from the studies are to construct a 2-lane bridge at Fresh Creek with the highest vertical clearance allowed. A 2-lane bridge will also be constructed at Stafford Creek, and this not only meets the requirements, but improves the safety of drivers by aligning with the new highway. The result of the expansion at Fresh Creek is a growth opportunity for the Western Andros Territory in economic activities. The government has also provided for a new precast concrete bridge at Davy Creek, as the timber deck structure is in poor condition. Ports and docks are not excluded from the government's plans to upgrade infrastructure in the islands of Andros. The docks listed for repairs are Nicholstown, Red Bays, Low Sound, Count Sound, and Lisbon Creek in Mangrove Key. Concrete ramps will be rebuilt in Nicholstown, Red Bays, and Low Sound, alongside the new docks and attached gazebo and fish cleaning stations. In Lisbon Creek, there will be dredging of the approach channel, a reinforcement of the concrete dock slab, bulkhead reconstruction, and provisions of marine bullets. Additional sea dredging will take place in Burnt Rock. Works include construction of a seawall of 234 feet. In South Andros, I am proud to say that the all-purpose gymnasium in the Bluff is 70% complete. This will serve as a hurricane shelter, an educational center, and sporting gym with facilities for basketball and volleyball games. As you can see, there are a number of capital work projects in play, which is an important step in preparing our communities for the growth in economic activity we expect in the coming years.
You and Your Money will continue after these messages.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. We continue now with the conclusion of the presentation given by Leon Lundy at the 10th Annual Andros Business Outlook.
For small business development, at a time where innovation and creativity are rulers of business success, it is important for business owners to be forward-thinking and cognizant of the many tools to advance their business to the next level. In this data-driven age, the question for businesses is now, how do we integrate new capabilities into our operations and our strategies? I encourage all entrepreneurs throughout the gamut of micro businesses, small businesses, and medium-sized enterprises to utilize the resources now available through the Bahamas Development Bank, the Small Business Development Center, and the Business Entrepreneurial Venture Fund. These vehicles offer support in business development, finance marketing, and partnerships. Additionally, the government has taken the bold step to initiate laws to structure climate finance via the sale and transfer of carbon credits. The island of Andros boasts the largest carbon sink in the country. In the face of rising seas, more intense storms, and the acidic waters that put fragile reefs at risk and pose major coastal hazards for low-lying areas on Andros, the investment into climate change mitigation is a favorable prospect. The creation of a carbon market will involve not only technocrats, but educators, scientists, and other specialists who will guide the implementation of innovative technologies in this arena. Revenue generated through the carbon market will work towards maintaining our forests, our mangroves, and our seabeds. If we adopt a model of sustainable prosperity, we can achieve a nature-based economy, which is sustained over time through the synthesis of human development and conservation goals. I leave you with this. Andros is poised to become a nature-based economy. We have our natural forests, we have the blue holes, we have the creeks that fester bone fishing. In the short term, the ground is set for improvements to existing facilities. In the long term, we must focus on sustainable prosperity development, where we implement our cultural, fishing, and agricultural hubs. It is up to all of us to dream bigger for our children and their children, to encourage education and innovation in future-focused career paths, to invest in new technologies and strategies, and to keep the clear vision of a prosperous, sustainable economy that underpins current and future community well-being. Let us continue to look beyond recovery and into growth. I look forward to working with each and every one of you to get Andros progressing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and may God continue to bless Andros and the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Also presenting on the topic community-based tourism for a sustainable Andros was the Acting Director General for the Ministry of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, Latia Duncombe.
I thank the conference organizers, Mrs. Joan Aubrey, and the TLC team for the invitation to make a contribution to the 10th Annual Andros Business Outlook Conference. I commend you for holding the national conversation on key issues of economic importance to our community. I'm very proud to say that Andros is among the first islands of the Bahamas to surpass pre-pandemic visitor arrivals. In 2019, Andros welcomed more than 9,000 visitors. 2 years later, into the tourism recovery and rebound, and at the end of 2021, Andros registered more than 12,000 visitors, the highest in its history, 30% more than 2019. The appreciable increase in visitor arrivals is due to the development of luxury resorts, strategic marketing, and the pandemic itself. The pandemic has awakened the world to the appeal of the Bahamas' largest island. The secret is now out. Andros, a pristine wonderland of countless blue holes, superb diving, fishing, birding, hunting, forests, fishing flats, and Great Barrier Reef, is indeed a mecca for adventure travelers and those seeking social distancing. According to the 2021 Global Adventure Tourism Market Report, the global adventure travel market will be worth $2.02 billion by 2030. Adventure travelers are not looking for the cosmopolitan glamour. They are seeking adventures off the beaten path, adventures steeped in nature and culturally immersive. Andros is the ideal fit for this market. The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, in collaboration with Andros stakeholders, is in the process of implementing a community-based tourism cluster project that will position Andros to tap into the lucrative flats fishing, birding, and adventure travel markets that dominate the nature-based travel in this region. The Andros Community-Based Tourism Cluster Development Project, which brings together diverse stakeholders within a community for a common purpose, is the first of its kind in the Bahamas. Cluster projects have become the driving force behind Sustainable Development Goal funding by international donor agencies, and so this initiative is very important to the Bahamas. Once we are successful with the Andros Cluster Project, which is being funded in partnership with Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility, the Bahamas will be able to access funding for clusters in our many island destinations. It should be noted that 55 cluster project concepts throughout the region were submitted for winning bids. 6 projects were shortlisted, and the Bahamas was one of 3 winners of the competition, which has garnered significant attention for the country within the international funding community. This 2-year initiative, centered around cooperation, innovation, and advocacy, is designed to bring together the various community stakeholders in the 4 districts of Andros to achieve economies of scale, thereby gaining access to opportunities previously unavailable. Included in these opportunities, low-cost capital for business expansion, as well as global access to more diversified markets, product enhancement, more trained human capital, digital innovation, and also e-marketing, payment and distribution systems, and an enhanced destination profile in the marketplace. The Andros CBT cluster, therefore, is an effective approach to a sustainable economic growth on the island.
You and Your Money will continue after these messages.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. We continue now with the conclusion of the presentation given by
The Acting Director General for the Ministry of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, Latia Duncombe.
The Andros CBT cluster comprises of 67 firms, entrepreneurs, and agencies that have agreed to work together to build out the local economy of Andros through industry partnership, entrepreneurship, business leadership, while sustaining the natural and cultural integrity of the island. Andros Island is not only a nature-based tourism capital of the world, having an array of medicinal plants, over 200 species of migrating and endemic birds, but also has vast mangrove forests, creeks, and wetlands that act as carbon sinks and provide nursery habitats for the best marine life in North Atlantic Basin, and a large reservoir of the country's fresh water supply. Andros also has the largest protected land and sea national park system in the Western Atlantic Caribbean and the hemisphere's largest barrier reef. Andros is also referred to as both the blue hole capital and bonefish capital of the world, having the highest concentration of blue holes and an abundance of bonefish facilitated by its sand flats. Andros has a fishing industry including sponging, as well as diving, birding, handicrafts, and an agricultural sector, which all provide excellent linkages to tourism, which remains the leading means of income generation and foreign exchange earnings on the island. 40% of Androsians are directly employed in the tourism sector, with all households benefiting directly or indirectly from the tourism industry. Andros's key attractions offer untapped potential for sustained economic growth. In fact, Andros has the opportunity to make the most of the demand for tourism, specifically the international market demand for nature-based community tourism that focuses on its eco-sports adventures as well as local cultural heritage activities and many festivals, including the All Andros Crab Fest and the South Andros Homecoming. The Ministry of Tourism data estimates reveal that flat anglers in Andros contribute to approximately US $25 million directly into the economy of Andros, and this is usually done between the months of October to March, leaving some extensions to June. This provides us with an opportunity to ensure through the cluster program that there's more economic activity during the months when the flats fishing is not as prominent. At the onset of my presentation, I demonstrated through the visitor arrival statistics that 2021 was a banner year for the island of Andros. The tourism industry is encountering more tourists who are focused on their social responsibility to our planet, and as such, are willing to pay as much as $300 per activity, with half of them willing to pay more if there are expertly trained and certified guides, quality products and services, and visitors are aware of how their contributions benefit the local communities. According to the data, just 4 adventure travelers generate as much revenue as 9 overnight tourists and as close to 100 cruise ship arrivals. Community-based tourism will capitalize on the interests of the socially and environmentally conscious vacationer by developing year-round niche ecotourism markets, specifically flats fishing, birding, nature tours, and cultural heritage experiences. The implementation of a comprehensive branding and digital transformation strategy, including website development, social media development, the capacity building of entrepreneurs to effectively and competitively serve the target niche markets, including training workshops and digitization, digital wallets, mobile wallets, online booking payments, guide training programs in birding, fishing, ecotourism, and the implementation of special health and safety and environmental programs. Certification programs have become the norm for all persons interested in guiding within the Bahamas. Already, BAIC has entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism to launch certification programs in flats fishing, birding, and eco-tours that will begin in July. Now, I offer these few words on the Ministry of Tourism's marketing initiatives to establish the Andros brand in the international travel marketplace. Andros is rich in storytelling. The Ministry of Tourism's PR coverage includes group and individual journalists and influencer press strips. Andros has recently been featured in publications such as the Boston Globe and consumer publications, including Elite Daily, Apartment Therapy, Travel Noir, and more. In the homesick, The Bahamas' partnership, Andres and Carilla Mar Club, were featured as the ultimate prize in connection to our partnership with Homesick Candles to encourage travel to the Out Island haven. I'm pleased to say that Andres has attracted its share of global recognition. Small Hope Bay Lodge was named the Adventure Hotel of the Year by 2022 Caribbean Travel Awards. Kamalami Key Resorts won 2 World's Best Awards, taking the 7th slot in the top 100 hotels in the world and ranked as number 1 resort in Bermuda, the Caribbean, and in the Bahamas. Andres is clearly making a name for itself, a reputation which the community-based tourism project can innovatively leverage to grow the tourism product on the island. Andres is ripe with opportunities for entrepreneurship and boasts that more than 40% of the local ownership of the tourism industry is owned by Bahamians. Emerging entrepreneurs in Andres are surrounded by many successful examples of local business owners. I encourage many more Androsians to take advantage of the opportunities for business ventures in lodging, as fishing and birding and nature guides, nature-based tours, kayaking, camping, farming, and culinary tours, as agencies such as the Bahamas Development Bank, the Bahamas National Trust, the Out Island Promotion Boards, Department of Cooperatives, the Ministry of Tourism, and many more are partnering in this venture to address the needs and ensure that cluster members receive training, resources, and the support needed to improve and expand their businesses. Hand in hand with this initiative, the Destination Stewardship Program, engaging stakeholders in council development and sustainability projects, has taken hold in Andres, which promotes a state of readiness for community stakeholders to capitalize on new opportunities in nature-based tourism, cultural preservation, and environmental conservation, providing demonstrable evidence that the community's commitment to sustainable development, which visitors regard as essential to their travel planning and decision-making. Ladies and gentlemen, Andres represents the new frontier of tourism expansion in the Bahamas. Fortunately, Androsians are in the place to proactively shape the direction of the tourism industry. Falling in line with our slogan, "It's better in the Bahamas," the Andres Community-Based Tourism Cluster Development Project presents another opportunity to make tourism better for the people of Andres. I wish you an enlightening conference. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing day.
And that concludes tonight's show. Join us next week for another informative edition of You and Your Money.